Hi everyone, my name's John. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a video that I've done a few of before over the past few years on this channel, and that is a video about how Princeton University Press supports the ongoing history reading event that we have here on BookTube called Historathon. We are right now in the middle of the fourth year of Historathon. It started back in 2023. And for every single year, 2023, 2024, 2025, and now again this year, Princeton University Press has wanted to sort of showcase their support for the public reading of history by sharing some of their titles that they have in their backlist with me, one from each quarter, and just showing them to you to see, I think, the beautiful job that they do at, first of all, making books, making interesting books, and making books in that space between books just for scholars, dry books that aren't going to attract much attention from the average person like me, or a lot of popular history that feels the need to explain every single little detail to you. So there's the space in there for books for people that don't need everything explained to them, but still want to read and build on their knowledge bases that they might already have. And I think that I have four of those right here. One of them might be, I don't know, a little bit more on the nerdy side, but we'll see. It all depends on what you already know, right? So I will link in the drop-down box below the Princeton Supports University, or Princeton Supports Historathon videos for 2023, 2024, and 2025. This video is the one for 2026. So here are four books, like I said, one for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so I'll just dive right in. The first one is relatively new from the past year or so. Yeah, last year, 2025. This is Hugo Shakespeare's Beauty and the Gods, a history from Homer to Plato. And this is basically a history of how the ancient Greeks looked at beauty, what they thought was beautiful, how they thought beauty was important to the political life, and basically looks at the Homeric epics through the pre-Socratic philosophers, all the way up to the Platonic dialogues, I think, and looks at how they understood beauty through divinity, ethics, politics, like I said, in all aspects of the ancient Greek life. So, wanted to show some photos. There are several many color photos and a few black and white, but yeah, a beautifully made book. By the way, not getting sponsored in any way, other than the gratis books from Princeton. If you'd like to, you can always ask. I wouldn't turn you down. But Beauty and the Gods, a history from Plato to Homer. From Homer to Plato, excuse me, by Hugo Shakespeare. I saw that in their catalog for a long time, and I don't think the paperback has come out yet. So here is one by an author I recently reviewed a book by. This is Women in Purple. Appropriately enough, a purple book, but the book that I recently reviewed was on the ancient city of Ravenna. And this is also by Judith Herron, and this is Women in Purple, Rulers of Medieval Byzantium, and specifically 3 female rulers of ancient Byzantium. It is kind of a triple biography of Irene, Theodora, not Justinian's Theodora, another Theodora, and Euphrosyne, who at various times during the 8th and the 9th centuries led the Byzantine Empire. So it's got, fascinating Byzantine history, eunuchs, dark palace corners, all that good stuff. And it looks at how they ruled, how they dealt with foreign leaders like Charlemagne and Harun al-Rashid, but especially how they dealt with court policy surrounding the issue of iconoclasm, which at the time was still a pretty contentious issue. Theodora, one of the characters in the book, actually finally comes down on the pro-icon side in the year 843, which kind of resolves the issue. But one of Judith Heron's maybe older books, I think she 2001, so it's 25 years old. That's quarter 2. Quarter 3 is, so right now our Historathon group is reading Citizens, a Chronicle of the French Revolution by Simon Schama, which was written or published in 1989 for the bicentennial anniversary of the storming of the Bastille and the breakout of the Revolution. This was written in 1939, exactly 50 years earlier, and I don't know if he intended it to be to coincide with the sesquicentennial, but this is the coming of the French Revolution by Georges Lefebvre, the great French historian, and this is kind of a Marxist analysis from what I understand. Again, haven't read any of these because I just got them a few days ago, so I'm just kind of doing a little Googling and telling you what they seem to be about. But looks at how class conflict, as you would expect from a Marxist analysis, economic crisis, and political stability all came together to contribute to the collapse of the Ancien regime. And it's a very highly regarded book on the subject, so it has made its way into the Princeton, let's see if I can find it, Princeton Classics line right there. Yeah, they all have this sort of grayish or orangish reddish spine, the P there for Princeton University Press, and a cover with a background, the title, and the author. So they all kind of look alike. And last but not least, quarter 4 is a book on how Hegel, the early 19th century philosopher, has been received for, and understood and maybe misunderstood for political reasons. This is Richard Bork's, it might be pronounced Burke, actually. I've heard it a couple of times pronounced Burke, which would be interesting for other reasons, but I won't get into those. Hegel's World Revolutions. And this is an interpretation of Hegel that sees world history as a series of revolutions, especially the Kantian and the French revolutions. And like I said, I'm knee-deep in the French Revolution right now. The Kantian Revolution was an intellectual, idea-based revolution, not one that involved fighting or revolution in the ordinary circumstance, but in which human beings developed new ways, new conceptions of thinking about freedom, civil society, and the state. Hegel realized that one of the paradoxes inherent in modernity was it's able to create more freedom for more people, but also the way that it did it was inherently destabilizing. It criticized and pulled apart political institutions that people had relied on for generations or centuries. And I think he also argues that there are several people in the 20th century, especially after World War II, that had maybe willfully, maybe not, but very much misinterpreted Hegel for their own purposes, possibly. People like Heidegger, Popper, Lévi-Strauss, Michel Foucault, and he talks about those too. So those are 4 books that Princeton University Press wants you to know about and sent me, and I'm really excited to read. So thank you, Princeton University Press. I'll tag you in the comments. I don't know if anyone gets around to actually watching these videos, but I'll put it on Blue Sky too. And they've always been extraordinarily generous, and I just want everyone to know that they are big supporters of the public reading of history, as am I, as is everyone else at Historathon. So I will see you later, and take care next time.